Hello, family. So we're continuing our reading of the Quran. Baqara, Part 2, Surah 2, verse 154. And say not of those who are slain in the way of Allah. They are dead, nay, they are living, though ye perceive it not. 155. Be sure we shall test you with something of fear and hunger, some loss in goods or lives, or the fruits of your toil, but give glad tidings to those who patiently persevere. 156. Who say, when afflicted with calamity, to Allah we belong, and to Him is our return. 157. They are those on whom descend blessings from God and mercy, and they are the ones that receive guidance. 158. Behold, Safa and Marwa are among the symbols of Allah. I'm going to highlight those names. So, if those who visit the house in the season or other time should compass them around, it is no sin in them. And if anyone obeyeth his own impulse to good, be sure that Allah is He who reconcileth and knoweth. 159. Those who conceal the clear signs we have sent down and the guidance after we have made it clear for the people in the book. On them shall be Allah's curse and the curse of those entitled to curse. 160. Except those who repent and make amends and openly declare the truth. To them I turn, for I am oft returning, most merciful. 161. Those who reject will abide therein. Their penalty will not be lightened, nor will respite be their lot. 163. And your God, in one God, there is no God but He, most gracious, most merciful. 164. Behold, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, in the alteration of night and day, in the sailing of ships through the ocean for profit of mankind, in the rain which Allah sends down from the skies, and the life which He gives therewith to an earth that is dead, in the beasts of all kinds that He scatters through the earth, in the change of the winds, and the clouds which they trail like their slaves between the sky and the earth. Here indeed are the signs for a people that are wise. 165. Yet there are men who take for worship others besides Allah as equal with Allah. They love them as they should love Allah, but those are of faith are overflowing in their love for Allah. If only the unrighteous could see, behold, they would see the penalty, that to Allah belongs all power, and Allah will strongly enforce the penalty. 166. Then would those who are followed clear themselves of those who follow them. They would see the penalty, and all relations between them would be cut off. 167. And those who follow would say, if only we had one more chance, we would clear ourselves of them, as they have cleared themselves of us. Thus will Allah show them the fruits of their deeds as nothing but regrets. Nor will there be a way for them out of the fire. 168. O ye people, eat of what is on earth, lawful and good, and do not follow the footsteps of the evil one, for he is to you an avowed enemy. 169. For he commands you what is evil and shameful, and that ye should say of Allah that of which ye have no knowledge. So I like how he says, eat of what is on earth, lawful and good. I wonder if that's also like encouraging people like in a modern context to not eat a lot of artificial foods. So like preservatives, like fast food, like lawful, could that also mean like what is permitted and but also what is healthy? Like good isn't healthy. I think that's how I would interpret it. And do not follow in the steps of the evil one, for he is an avowed enemy. Avowed enemy, I like that because there are a lot of people who... There's a lot of people I've met from Mexico who are from the Santa de Muerte cult. And in Spanish, that's called a bruja or brujo, where they practice witchcraft. And it always blows my mind how some of those people think that... And now, a lot of people will disagree with me and say that death cult is not satanic. But it was not. It was denounced by the Catholic Church, and they don't include that as a saint. And the cartels have it as a patron saint for the drug lords, the narcos. So I don't think that would really agree with a typical holy thing. But what I'll say is that they often think that this Satan and death, the saint of death, will protect them and guide them, and they oftentimes give advice. It's usually really bad advice if you really stop by and think about it. And I like this because I've had a lot of arguments with some people about, well, why would a demon or the devil, right? Why would he listen to you, and how can you think that he cares for you? And why would you want to pray to that and try to get that type of entity's attention? It's like opening up Pandora's box in a sense. Why would you want to bring that upon you and mess around with that? That's sort of like opening up a cage to a cobra that's really angry and frustrated and thinking that you can hold and play with it like a typical gardener snake. It just doesn't work. So I like how this reminds people how an avowed enemy means that person has made a testimony against you, and they are, no matter what you do, they're not going to be on your side. And if you think they're going to be on your side simply because they've said it, you should remember that entity, that energy, has made an avowed enemy of itself to you. So I like how it points that out. I think we're going to be dealing, for example, there was a bunch of witches. I don't really think they're real. They're probably just trendy hippies. But when Trump got elected, they held the news. I think it was CNN. Or Vice. It was some mainstream news network where they covered it witches gather and are sending spells towards Trump. It was a major news story. And a lot of people joked and were like, oh, there's something useless, right? Because they saw, I guess... Some trolls will say that they did it as a parody, and other people will say no, they did it as a Wiccan thing. But at the same time, you'll have those two groups, one's praying for Trump and one's praying against Trump. But I did find it weird how that was endorsed as something that should be modeled. And so I guess that ties back to this verse, right? So why would something that's an avowed enemy to humanity, to humankind, that's focused on leading you astray, why would it help you to punish a president and then not try to punish you in some way or take a payment in some way? If I've read a lot of folk tales, and always those beings, those trickster beings, there's always a quid pro quo. There's always an exchange. You can't ask a bad entity for something and then not expect a payment. And the payment might be worse than what you asked for. So don't mess with it. So I like how, so far, because I want to go linear through the book, but I like how it's introducing that. And then it has the juxtaposition to Allah is merciful. Then you have somebody who is a Satan who is avowed to lead you astray and has beings that want to lead you astray. So that's fascinating. I like that.